Hello and welcome to my channel, Always Bolt the Bird, and like always, if you've been here before, welcome back. So, can't get chair situated right. Alright, good enough. Um, this is actually a really cool video for me to make. I'm really excited because today is Thursday, the 21st of May. And in a couple of hours, Arena will start updating and we will get Historic Anthology 3. So, over the past couple of days, I've used Mana Stack. Not sponsored, but really cool website that you search up cards, like you just type, so on and so forth, and it'll find cards. You can do type, text, sets, all that good junk. So, and you just basically drag them in and you make a little bit of a deck. So you can also import, export, but this is not about that. This is about Historic Anthology 3 and a couple of decks that I want to make. So we'll start off with, unfortunately, Ulamog. This one. So when you cast Ulamog, we exile the two... well, wait, before we get into that, just remember that in a couple of hours you're going to see another video. This one's going live about 10 a.m. Eastern. And as soon as the game updates, I'm going to probably make one of these decks. I'll let you know which one I'm going to make when I get to it. Well, which one I think I'm going to make when I get to it. And then we're going to start playing it. I'm also going live tonight, Thursday, May 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're just going to be building some fun historic decks. Probably your guys' and gals' ideas. So, alright, cool. So the first one was Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Like, it costs 10, and it's got a 10-10, and it is a 10-10. Whenever we cast it, we exile 2 target permanents. So, exile something that they really love. It's indestructible, and whenever it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of his or her library. So, the issue is I really couldn't figure out, like, a good deck to play this in. This is actually just my Yarick Field of the Dead ramp, double everything. So, unfortunately, this is whenever you cast it, not when it enters the battlefield for Yarick. But regardless, we can get to 10 mana very quickly with this deck. So I think that's kind of the idea. I'll probably I have Yorion set as the companion for this deck, so we have like 80 cards. But I'll probably we'll probably tone it down a bit, get rid of like the Parcel Beasts, and we'll just make like a 60 card deck for this because we can get to 10 land very quickly with this deck. So unfortunately, Ulamog was really the only card that I super duper wanted to play that I just couldn't figure out a deck for. We'll figure something out though, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on what deck you would like to play with Ulamog. So now, alright, let's just do this one. Ever since it came out back in what was the set? What's that? Dragon's Maze. Ever since it came out back in Dragon's Maze, I've always wanted to make a stupid Maze's End deck and actually win with it. And it has never been great. I think in Modern, there's 1 or 2 decks that you can actually do it. But the idea is it comes into play tapped. We can tap to add 1 to our mana pool, or for 3 and tap it, we can return Maze's End to its owner's hand. Search your library for a gate card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle your library. If you control 10 or more gates with different names, we win the game. So it was always pretty much just once a turn, do it, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. Or I should say once per cast. But I think Historic / the past couple of sets have actually added a bunch of stuff that that might actually really work. So, like, we have Circuitous Route, where we can search for 2 gates and put them onto the battlefield. We have Golos, that'll just get us a land. And then also, for 10, well, we can exile the top 3 cards. We can play them this turn without paying their mana cost, which is really weird. I mean, it's not weird, it's really good. Uro, whenever it, basically whenever it enters or attacks, we draw a card, then we can put a land down. Ominous Sea is just mainly for like scrying and drawing extra cards because we dump our hand, or at least I assume we're gonna dump our hand a lot in this. For the most part, the land is just all guild gates. Also, we got Gateway Plaza, which technically gives us 11 gates now. Before we only had 10. I also threw in some ancient ziggurats. I don't know. We do have pretty much all creatures, so I threw an ancient ziggurat mainly because it's comes into play untapped and it can cast any of our creatures, but we'll see. Also, Growth Spiral. Draw a card, put an extra land. District Guide. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a gate, put it into your hand. Stuff like that. I think we got a bunch of really good cards in modern, in historic, that actually might make us see this win. So we'll see. I'm super excited to actually try and play this because I'm all about those alternate win conditions, and yeah. I think I'm gonna make this deck first and then try it, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this video out today because this is one of those decks where, in order to get a couple of wins, it might take me either half a day or even multiple days. So, but Maze's End, we're gonna be playing this deck. All right, cool. So that's kind of the meme one. And then Mono Black, Phyrexian Obliterator, and Tempered Steel. One of these is almost definitely the decks that I'm going to make for later today. So I wasn't sure which way to go. I may actually just make another deck. Well, I mean, I'm probably just going to make another deck regardless. But and go Golgari or even Rakdos. Because oops.
These are the top results.
Shush. Okay, somehow I just activated my phone. Let's bring it up here. Alright, so it cost 4 black and it's a 5/5 trample. Whenever a source deals damage to it, to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source's controller sacrifices that many permanents. So, because it's 4 black, the way that I built it just now was with the Grey Merchant of Apostle to end it out. Basically, when it enters, each opponent loses X and we gain X, where X is our devotion to black. So, right off the bat, it's going to be 6 with just these 2 cards. I've picked a couple of other cards that have a couple of them at least, but but again, I'm definitely gonna do other decks, but I think this will be probably the strongest deck because on its own it could kind of like just win, and then if Phyrexian Obliterator ever happens, that'll be fun. But I think I want to try and make like a black green red deck or a black green deck. And just have Phyrexian Obliterator fight things. But it does cost 4 black, and one of the ideas I had was like a Nyx Lotus. Nyx Lotus to help cast black. In this deck, it probably doesn't matter that much. We'll probably swap out Nyx Lotus with maybe another Kite Sail or something like that. But we've got some Cabal Strongholds. We can add a whole bunch of black mana. Which is Cottage, because basically if we have 3 or more swamps by the time and something dies, we can return a creature to the top of our library. Memorial to Folly, which lets us bring it back to our hand. Stuff like Kite Sail Freebooter, Order of Midnight, which will bring back a creature as well. Dread Shade, which is a really good card for Gary. Erebos, basically, whenever a creature dies, we can pay 2, sacrifice another creature, stuff like that. So, Tendrils of Corruption, I don't know if this will last in there, but we'll see. It deals X damage, where X is the amount of swamps. We also gain X life. We have some Vraska's Contempt, stuff like that. Yeah, I saw 4 black, and I was like, you know what, Phyrexian Obliterator? You're going into a Gary deck because we're going to try to do some devotion. But in general, I think it actually might wind up being a strong deck on its own. So, But again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these decks that I've come up with, and I'd love to tweak them with y'all anyway. So, and then probably what's going to be my favorite deck is Tempered Steel. I absolutely adore artifacts, like, more than anything in the world. Like, I think I love artifacts more than I love myself. Like, and I think pretty damn highly of myself. Like, so, normally with artifacts, you'd either go, like, Azorius or Mono Blue or something like that. But I really wanted to play Tempered Steel. Which is artifact creatures you control get +2/+2, which is just an amazing, like, buff. I mean, I want to call it a lord, but it's not a creature. If, what do I call these? Like a boon? But so basically, this one's built kind of around this one. So, and Tempered Steel, I love it. And if you're going white, you also have to have all that glitters, which is it gets +1/+1 for each artifact and/or enchantment you control. We also have Steel Overseer, put a 1/1 counter on everything. Mystic Forge for if we start running out of cards, because our stuff is kind of cheap. One of the newer cards, Crystalline Giant, because that's just a beast. It is an artifact creature, and then at the beginning of each combat on our turn, we put a counter on it or something. I also threw in a couple Ozoliths because I assume that we're gonna have a lot of 1/1 counters, especially with like Stone Coil Serpent, Gingerbread, things like that. Smothering Tithe, just because maybe we'll get some extra mana to go with it. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna play Karn's Bastion and Idyllic Range because we can put a 1/1 counter. Would be the only special land. Other than that, it's gonna be plains. But I think this deck is probably gonna be the one that you're gonna see later. Either this one or the Phyrexian Obliterator one. But yeah, this deck could even be probably tweaked. Again, like I said, I've made them over the past couple of days in my free time. I've been thinking about them, stuff like that. So, but these will probably be the first 4 decks that you see me play. And this will probably be this one. But we got to come up with a good name, like All That Tempers. Because All That Glitters and Tempered Steel is definitely the 2 main cards of this. Tempered Glitter. Sure. We might go with that. Okay, cool. So, yeah, these are the decks that I came up with really quickly. I also just opened up, because I couldn't necessarily come up with a couple decks, and there were some cards that, like, I just decided to, like, that I'm going to put in everything. Like, Chroma's Memorial, I can actually probably put into the Tempered Steel. But I super want to play this just because it's like a meme. But creatures we control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, protection from black, protection from blue, protection from red, stuff like that. So there's a couple of cards like I do want to play around with some of the flashback cards, such as like Devil's Play, deals X damage. I just don't really have a deck for that yet. It would probably be something like a Teamer deck with Wilderness Reclamation, but we'll see. Oh, actually, that won't work because it is a sorcery. Yeah, we'll just have to make a lot of mana. Gem Palm Incinerator. That's something that I definitely want to play. We just did Goblins yesterday, so we will play that, but it deals X damage to target creature where X is the where X is the number of goblins on the battlefield. So this will be pretty fun to play. It's also got cycling. It's the same thing with the with the zombies. I thought the shrines were better than they were, and then I realized that they were legendary. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna get around to playing the shrines. We probably will, just because it is in historic anthology, and I super duper want to see them played. But the Tusker, we could probably put the Tusker in a ramp deck, maybe even with Ulamog. I always forget his name, but we'll see about that. Mirari's Wake, I super like. Creatures you control get +1/+1 whenever you tap a land for mana. We add 1 mana of any type that land produced. I actually have a deck that can win on turn 2. We've been playing it, and we haven't won on turn 2 yet. We have got the turn 3 and the turn 4 win yet, but and I think this will actually go in well with it. So Memory Blink is again one of those flashback cards that I want to play with. Ratchet Bomb, I feel like I'm going to put Ratchet Bomb in just about every single deck. I feel like Ratchet Bomb is going to become like... I don't think I'm going to do a video on a Ratchet Bomb deck. I think it's just going to wind up going into every deck. So also Roar of the Worm. I would have loved to see the other the 6/6 worm that makes 2/3/3s. I forget what it's called, but I'll take this. So probably something where we put it into our graveyard and just play it that way. Yeah, things like that. I mean, Timely Reinforcements is a fun card to play around with. If you have less life than an opponent, you regain 6 life. If you have fewer creatures, we create 3/1/1. So basically, if you're just behind, you gain life and get tokens. So, yeah, there's really not much more to talk about. Like, those are all the cards. Obviously, I haven't thought of every deck I want to make. I only showed off like 4. We'll get there. So, cool. Yeah, so just stay tuned. As soon as Arena updates, I'm going to be recording a video and putting another one out later today. So if you want to see that, subscribe, hit the bell icon. You'll get notified when that goes live, as well as all my other videos. And like I've said in the previous videos this week, I think we are slowly turning into a historic channel. There's nothing wrong with that. I love historic, and now we can play historic ranked. So cool. I guess there's nothing else to say other than stay inside, stay awesome, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay wanting more. Another video. Like I said, I have no idea when that video is going to go live. This one, it's 9 a.m. now. I'm just going to go edit it real quick and upload it, so you'll see it about 10. I'm guessing it'll be 3 or 4 in the afternoon or so, but who knows. All right, cool. See you in that video. See you in a couple hours.